Hello, my YouTube family. It's me, Lindsay Star. This is my first wrestling vlog I haven't done in a while. And, yes, let's talk, shall we? I know you guys are going to be questioning what is going on and what is this topic is about. Well, let's address the matter of the targeting of one Joey Ryan. First of all, Joey Ryan has been targeted when he was promoting his match against Candice LeRae, because he was in fact talking about, because it was her final match, and somebody went after him. A few of them went after him and claimed, oh, it's domestic abuse or domestic violence. And to be honest with you guys, intergender matches, no matter if it's singles or tag, it's not, and I will repeat this, it is not domestic abuse or domestic violence. And the reason why is, well, there's somebody else who has gone through it and who had been through of domestic abuse or domestic violence. But she is still wrestling, and she wrestles against guys. Her name is Mia Yim, and she used to be in a relationship with somebody, but until they got very domestically hurting her, and she is a survivor, so because she got out of the relationship and whatnot, but she still wrestles, and she can wrestle against guys. And the reason why it's not considered to be domestic violence, because these wrestlers are friends. And for somebody to go after Joey Ryan because he's wrestling against Candice LeRae, it doesn't consider it to be domestic abuse or domestic violence, and it's really not necessary to go after somebody and claim that. And you know what, even though I think there's still more hate thrown towards Joey Ryan, and I don't know if this is because just say a certain former manager is throwing so much shade. He's sicking his followers on to Joey Ryan or not, but I mean, everybody needs to back off and leave poor Joey Ryan alone. And if he wants to, he's been getting a lot of matches being booked, especially because he's also getting booked within DDT Pro, and apparently I found out he's also going to be in the WrestleMania weekend with Combat Zone Wrestling. And though people are mad about this, grow up, leave Joey Ryan alone, man. Alright? I'm just saying this as a wrestling fan, and because I like Joey Ryan. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, and the bullying him and saying that he's terrible, even though he will fight back, it's cool, it's not even cool to go argue against somebody who has been making a lot of money. Hey. But anyway, so that's what I want to make sure you guys can understand. Now, there are other things I also want to address. Apparently, I read somewhere, probably from, PW Ponderings, they were talking about how YouTube and the effects upon pro wrestling. Not really much. I mean, why is everybody so worried about this? I mean, those who had reached 100,000, over 1,000 subscribers and have more than 4,000 hours, sure. But, there are a lot of people who are still making money because of their merchandise and stuff. Henceforth, mentioning of the cast of being the elite. But, nobody should be getting mad about this. And, you know, nobody should be worried about this happening. But at the same time, there's those wrestling promotions who are jumping ship from being paid to going on to to Twitch, as because of the advertisements. Well, I understand that as much, and you know, Twitch can handle that more maturely. But for those who are still using YouTube as a platform, just be careful. Don't do anything kind of silly and or get you guys into trouble. But, my thoughts about this is, I mean, if anybody's concerned about these YouTube changes, I highly recommend you go either watch Tim Pool or Philip DeFranco, because one of those two will explain what is going on and about the whole entire YouTube changes and stuff. So, don't get mad at me, alright? I try my best to explain it, but it's the best if somebody else who can explain it way much more better. There. And, you know, so, you know. Another thing I also want to address is, if I'm going to continue on watching anything within, like, Ring of Honor or New Japan. I'm trying my best if I can, but, you know, I mean, it depends on how things are, otherwise, it's, you know, I mean, I can go onto my computer and, you know, and try my best to get onto Fight TV so I can watch Ring of Honor, or and I mean a big if I can't watch it on my TV, though apparently I've been having problems with my TV. It's actually not the TV itself, the cable box, and and I will make another video if you guys want me to explain about what's going on with that, but that's something else. I know I should have mentioned that in this first blog that I haven't done in a while. So anyway, what else I should also address? No, the one thing I'm really kind of angry and upset is I don't know why anybody has not booked, one of my favorite wrestlers, Tim Donst, to any of their matches starting off the new year. I mean, especially, I'm kind of slightly disappointed that AIW did not decide to book, Tim Donst versus Raymond Rowe, but I guess they really wanted to book Keith Lee, and I don't blame them, but I'm just hoping the next show, those two don't go at it, especially because I do not want Tim Donst to be, you know, end up wrestling against somebody who ended up almost trying to kick his former trainer. Check out Beyond Wrestling's YouTube channel for that. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm still kind of mad. Actually, the one thing for sure is what the heck's going on with over at CZW? I mean, the last thing I saw was the clip that Hyde wanted him to come, but then I haven't heard anything about this. And I don't know if Nova Pro has not booked him back yet. So that's kind of a strange thing. But I don't know. I have to go check out their Twitter accounts and stuff and see what's going on. Now, I also will address something else. You know, back to the whole entire intergender thing. When somebody questions about it, if it's domestic abuse or domestic violence, it is not. And besides, and I only know that Tim Donst had done a couple of intergender matches, especially he did in Chikara when he wrestled against Sarah Del Rey. But this recently he did one, was in a tag team match within Combat Zone Wrestling, because they do is both CZW and Women's Superstars Uncensored held the tournament to crown a king and queen. And I know Tim Donst was in the tournament, and he ended up teaming up with Ray Lynn. And I have no problem with her because I knew she was married to Dylan Bostic. And I guess the announcement because I guess at that time Dylan was recovering from an injury. And there was no abuse whatsoever. So it's for somebody to say that it's kind of ridiculous, because I mean, these are people who are friends, and and they all just get along. And even though I was cheering for both of them to make it to the finals, they did not make it to the second round. But I'm not angry about that. I was not even jealous, because I knew of the matter of this, and I did get the idea that, and besides, it was just cool, Oh, so, anyway, so the whole entire situation of understanding about this domestic, that if intergender is considered to be domestic abuse or domestic violence, I don't think so. I mean, as far as I can heard, I somewhere a long time ago, I think it was somewhere around the 70s, probably even the 80s, somewhere around there at that time. I think it was mostly in the 70s. There was a comedian known as Andy Kaufman, and he actually used to wrestle, and he used to wrestle against a bunch of women. And until one day he got called out by Jerry Lawler, because I guess Lawler knew he was wrestling against women, and he wants to be the only guy to wrestle. Actually, out of anybody, even though Andy wrestled a lot of women, I think Jerry Lawler's like the only guy I know who wrestled against Andy Kaufman. And apparently they had done they did stuff, especially with David Letterman. Yeah, I think it was around the 1980s, I think. I'm not sure. So don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I really do mean that. And apparently, I think there's the movie Man on the Moon specify about that, because it's based on the story. I think it's really based on the true story of Andy Kaufman. And I know Jim Carrey played the comedian, and and they did that in a way. And apparently Jerry Lawler was in the movie playing himself. Well, it's true. Anyway, so, and not to mention Joey Ryan had paid tribute to the comedian, the late comedian, I should say. So yeah, and believe me, if you think intergender is domestic abuse, then you got another thing coming, man. And I think probably because I think this is the reason why there are people coming out of the woodworks and going after people, especially like Joey Ryan. I think it's partly because WWE's doing what's known as a mixed match challenge, which apparently has wrestlers from both, I guess, Raw and SmackDown teaming up. I mean, I know Sasha Banks and Finn Balor are teaming up, and because actually the reason why they're teaming up, because they've been friends for a while. But I think that's part of the other thing, and the other thing is, I think there's possibility that because they're using the situation of the, even though I do not want to say this, but part of the Me Too movement, and it's nothing have to deal with that way. Alright, to say that you're a pro wrestling fan, but you say that intergender is considered to be domestic abuse or domestic violence, that's that is in fact completely offensive. Because if you're a wrestling fan and if you don't like it, then you don't need to say anything. But saying that kind of stuff, you might as well not be a real pro wrestling fan. Alright? And it just made me feel angry and upset because there are people who would think that way. Hey, and even though I end up blocking and reporting them on Twitter, Joey Ryan is not someone you need to tell him saying you're being domestically abusing someone. When the fact is, Joey Ryan really wanted to have a match against Candice LeRae because this is what Joey Ryan wants to do, because he wants to say goodbye to his friend, because she was signed by WWE about a couple of days ago or so, and Joey just want to say goodbye for now until they meet again. And what's the best way to end a great tag team partnership is, one final match. And it has to be in the singles. I mean, who would be a great opponent for Candice LeRae than Joey Ryan? And, you guys are going to tell me how mad if you guys were say, well, there's women. Yeah, but there are women out there, like Tessa Blanchard, even though I heard she's going up against Brian Cage over at Wrestle Circus. And it's probably for the Sideshow title that she has. So, it's not going to be domestic abuse, alright? It's just wrestling. It's just wrestling, and I don't know, but like I said, there are women out there of wrestling and could go up against Candice LeRae, but Candice wanted to vote up against Joey Ryan because they are been the best of friends. The tag team name, World's Cutest Tag Team. And not to mention, they're both married to people that they love. Look at Candice. She's been married to Johnny Gargano for over a year now? Almost 2, I think. And Joey Ryan, he married to Lauren James. Or is that Laura James or Lauren? Oh, crap, I'm in trouble. But still, they're best friends no matter what. And how would best friends say goodbye when they know they won't see each other again? And probably for a long time. So, anyway. If you guys thinking if intergender is considered to be domestic abuse or domestic violence, you're not a real wrestling fan. I'm sorry, but anybody who thinks that way is not considered to be a pro wrestling fan. And if you just want to say you don't like intergender, then just say that. Don't give it a little lingering excuse saying it's domestic abuse or domestic violence. It's just not right there. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you guys can, please hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure notifications are definitely turned on. And I would love to hear you guys say about this. But, thanks for watching. Till then, bye.